It's another start of the weekend, which means we can watch some more destruction of a small village and the friendships therein. Knowing that Sadako really wants to keep Rika by her side and what she's willing to go through to obtain that life is terrifying. Especially now that we're possibly going through all the arcs and stories we've seen before and really kind of unpicking where it went wrong. Starting, of course, with Rena and the issues with her father finding a new girlfriend? Something like that. Is it going to play out exactly how we knew it before, or is this once again another twist on tales we've learned? To find out, we're going to have to watch more, so get yourself a drink and strap on in, because we need to start the episode. So, nice little tune going. No one going to question the choice of purchases she's made recently. Rope, tape, tarp. What else do you need? Some lighter fluid, steel drum, a hacksaw. I don't think we got any of that pre-planning the first time around, but it's kind of, I don't know how I feel, because obviously the progression of the illness means that you get highly suspicious of everyone and paranoid and stuff, think everyone's out to get you. So you would make some sort of preparations. But would you be so lucid as to be able to plan out a cover-up and whatnot for after? Apparently so. But just how far is Sadako willing to go, willing to sacrifice her humanity in order to obtain the future that she desires? How much would any of us be willing to go? And when are we learning any more about that Hanyu adjacent shrine maiden or Yoshiro Sama type? Still suffering from the night before. Does he realize that none of the alcohol was actually drunk apart from him? Still the doting daughter. Does the water taste funny? Hopefully it was just good old H2O. It's a project for school. I guess as a... yeah, no. Plausible story, actually. I mean, we had to clear away some of the other junk and whatnot out of the way. Everything will be okay soon. Again, what is going to be animated in this scene? Looking out and seeing that the bed is drawn in a different style. And then not used. Huh. Maybe later. She had to store away a lot of those tools and whatnot. Do you want to start talking ill? Do you want to speed up that madness in her heart? the fact that you've got Sadako, obviously Rika's been through this a long time as well, but anyway, Sadako just being teasing and playing along as well, even though she was the cornerstone in causing a lot of this. Don't want to drag them into it as well, no matter if they are friends. Was it because they all kind of banded together that it went okay before? It'd be a half-hearted club time after all. Ow, that's not helping my tinnitus. I mean, yeah, you want to have any sort of thing you can get to really mop up any spillage. Can't remember what the Japanese wood saw or hacks. Yeah, go for the hacksaws. Come on, we've got replacement blades. You don't have the weight of the metal behind it, but making a veritable little home away from homes there in that camper van. Just who you wanted to run into. It would be amusing though if everything was just a misunderstanding and she was playing it up for her friends there and wasn't actually an evil person, but I don't know if it's gonna try and do that. I know all about you. Of course, people can be easily mistaken. So for it for having to come and meet her. How the stars align. Why don't you follow me to her, a nice secluded place? I do like the slow, ominous rumble as well from the thunder. Unless, of course, that's outside mine. I was trying to come up with some sort of weather-related pun there for her fate, but couldn't come up with it in time. You see, that seems to be a somewhat genuine smile there. You can really cut through a lot with that. The fact that she is actually just following her in a place like this where, sepsis and what's the other one that you get from like rusty nails? Can't remember now. But yeah, that could run rampant on them. Not much of a talker anymore, is she? Maybe it's time to go investing in hearing aids or something. That no one knows about, and it needs to stay that way. God, the amount of back and forth giggles between the two of them. Yeah, we don't want to dirty up the vehicle. You were told to wait outside. This invasion of privacy will not go unpunished. The fact that she invaded not only the sanctity of her father and what the home there, but her safe space away from home. Having a secret base like this with a lamp, you'd at least put some sort of curtain or something up around. Just coming out clean with that much. All right, yeah, ordering expenses so she gets a commission on it. Gotcha. Had to come and see her and see how things are going. A bit of kinship. Huh. So maybe it was bluster for her friends and whatnot. She's being quite lenient and responsible here. There's an easier way to make sure he doesn't see you again, though. Don't worry, it's just a massage. Very deep vein massage. Under different circumstances, she seems quite reasonable. Not Renna right now, obviously. Obviously, it's a bit difficult if just coming out of nowhere and you get, you're strangled out like this. You wouldn't know how to react, but did have a lot of room to wiggle about on. Easily put her off balance, and they're like, oh yeah, now she realizes. Shouldn't have gone in the van. I was about to say, do you really want to go running in those heels? To be fair, would you take the risk of running in heels rather than barefooted through this dump? Tetanus. That's what I was thinking of. Obviously, the pure shock of it all would be running rampant, but I'd put up a bit more of a fight than this. I don't think she listened to the request. And comparing it to interactions we've seen of her before, is it because of the rerun? So she's come up with that, oh yeah, maybe this isn't how it should all play out, and change my tune and let him go and not take him for all his money? Or was this always her character and we've just been misled? Did she bring a change of clothes as well? It's quite messy business. I do like the shimmer in her eyes. It's horrifying, though. That's a very shitty pass the parcel. You don't want that for a Secret Santa. Yeah, knowing that she failed before and that's why the mother ran away with this family friend, yeah, you can kind of get why she wouldn't be so lenient. And obviously, we've gone through that story before and seen it how it goes down, but now in such more a closer, more visceral way. And other than obviously them all working together and being friends, they don't need to keep secrets from each other. Blah blah blah. Did they do anything before to help? I know that Mion moved a body, but that was for Keiji, I think. Do you now? That's be some intense insight. Unless he has, memories of when they helped out, that could play quite an important part. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to go scavenging for spare parts. Obviously helping with the Colonel, isn't it? Don't tell me you've forgotten already. He made a promise, didn't he? Is that going to be a good calm down point for the progression of the parasites and her insanity here? I mean, he's trying to do a good deed and get her what she wants. He's just too close to the truth. Ah, speaking of. Get back to it in a few minutes. Just have a tea break. That would work. I mean, even if he did, he hasn't brought it up, so don't worry. At least wait until you got your statue. No one ever takes my advice. Now, she cleared up nice. Okay. She cleared up everything nicely before, so I was going to say, yeah, did she wipe it clean? How long was this tea break? I mean, he's here to try and get the statue out, not read magazines. Careful, that's dangerous. The constant flip-flopping between, terrified paranoia and her cutesy exterior is entertaining. Still wish the scene was slightly brighter. But, at twilight, you get what you see. I mean, you haven't got this statue yet. Why would he not come back? That's a laugh of someone who was genuinely enjoying themselves. At first, I had completely forgotten who she was, even though we have seen her before. Ah, yes. Cook for him. So, to think that we had two stories play out simultaneously. Obviously, the first time round, Tomatake was telling about the dismemberment. He found the magazines just now. He's now going all a bit funny about what's going on. And then we had the switcheroo where Rena went insane and attacked him with the knife. I could do with some aircon right about now. So if this is like the counterpart to that story, better than just denying. Otherwise, why would you bring out a question and... Do they investigate so quickly? Oh, she's been missing for a day. Isn't it like usually 48 hours? Unless there's, pressing urgency or something. But yeah, as long as you play along as far as it's actually happening, we did meet up, we talked for a bit, and then I don't know what happened. There's no need to lie or make up some tall tales or anything. It would just be harder to corroborate. I have a feeling that this village might not be so lucky. I know it's dark and I'm leaving a child in the middle of the road late at night, but that's just a reminder about how people die and go missing. I didn't think this would carry on for 3 episodes or so, because in my mind, obviously, knowing how things play out, I'd condense it a little, but obviously seeing a bit more of the details behind it and knowing that the world goes on and other people play their parts out is a neat little addition to it. Why limit yourself to one tragedy in the village at a time? And we did see like little flutters of that story, how she might be wanting to repent for her actions, considering we were both raised by a single parent. I know what that's like. It was just her job after all. Is that how it was before? I know that before it was with the uncle, and it was a lot more. Is it because he's changed? He's no longer in the picture there, so it wasn't influencing her. Because if that is the case, that's some nice continuation. Now I can't be sure, but obviously because we've seen before how the uncle is having, my uncle, Sadako's uncle, is having flashbacks or dreams of his own demise, changing his life around. He's not then intertwined with the dealings of of her and taking advantage of people for money, so now it is just her job. And knowing that he has been spending far too much and still got to raise a teenager who's struggling with a single parent household, etc. If Sadako didn't get involved with that needle of hers, would they have been able to come to an understanding? Because usually Renna is quite reasonable, articulate. Just not when it comes to Colonel Sanders' statues, apparently. Compared to some scenes that we've seen in Higurashi, it was relatively tame. Obviously, the implications of it all, you're cutting through the meat to get to the bone to saw it up and separating out the parts, wrapping them up neatly. Yet that is horrifying, but visually it wasn't quite as bad as other things we've seen, so it's quite muted in that respect. Maybe they just didn't want to give anyone any ideas or guidelines. And obviously, rather than taking it all out on her, if Renna was in complete peace of mind at least, you would want to have at least a little chat with your dad to just be like, are you sure this is what you should be doing? This money isn't yours to be pissing away at some random club, even if you like the girl. Why don't you talk this out and see if it's just a business transaction or anything else before you start splurging all the cash? Well, I've said it before that these later series of Higurashi, under the new style, I like the art style. It was a bit weird to get attached to originally, but anyway, it's not quite as captivating as previous seasons for obvious reasons. But now that it's having a lot of those switcheroos and bluffs and subversions, like with the uncle, like with Rina's character here, like, hang on a second, this is not how I remember her. That's quite intriguing route to go down. So, are people so malleable in our own lives now? Can actions and justifications that people make be so easily swayed by just external influences? Or in the case of dreams and nightmares, maybe more internal. A lot of this episode was in darkness, so it might be slightly difficult to grab a screenshot of it, but I don't know of any big piles of trash like that around here. I know we have a tip, a big garbage dump or whatnot, but it's a lot more ordered than that. You got bins for, say, mechanical waste, wood, plastics, etc., etc. So, yeah, I'm surprised anyone even allows this still to be open and available to the public, especially children. But yeah, who could ever resist the temptation of come and see my little rusty van in the middle of this horrible metal dump? Seems like an intriguing offer. I do want to see what other places this story can go, what more arcs and whatnot we're going to have another side of, and see something that happened simultaneously. And how long before Sadako really reaches her wit's end as Rika is not abiding by her plans? To find out, we're going to have to watch more. But if I entertained you, if you enjoyed it, let me know. Leave a like and a comment down below. Consider subscribing to the channel to help me grow and get a lot more anime out there. Jump onto my Discord for memes, conversations, and votes for future stuff. But for now, take care of yourselves. I'm going to make sure my tools are locked away safe. And I'll see you in the next one. I really do need to thank each and every one of my patrons for not wrapping me into neat individual little parcels and allowing me to continue watching anime for you all. And if you would like to help support the channel to go a little bit longer, consider joining on as well. And be alongside the likes of Sal, AegisTR, Darky26, Guado, Kite, Reds Racer, Ultra Pouring, Wolfie Sensei, Zug, and everyone else.